Hey everyone, just a quick second video for today. A Canadian and his American fiancée were set to get married just in a few days, but he was denied entry to the US, even though he was under the legal 180-day stay limit. That would frustrate the hell out of me. You're following the rules, you're doing everything by the book, and CBP still decides to throw a wrench into everything. And right before your wedding? That's some brutal timing. Before I begin, if I sound congested, it's because I got a really bad cold right now. And to be honest, I actually feel like crap. But if I sound normal in today's earlier video, it's only because I have a few scheduled ahead of time. But I want to get this one out as soon as possible, because it shows exactly where Canada and the US border situation is today, and why we shouldn't take anything for granted. Even if your paperwork is in order, your documents are valid, and you're well within the legal limit of number of days, it still might not matter. All right, let's get into it.
Well, a Canadian man says he was denied entry into the U.S. just days before his wedding to his American fiancée was slated to take place. That after claiming border agents flagged him for overstaying. Now their wedding plans and what comes next are caught up in a complicated cross-border limbo. Here's CTV's Tyler Fleming.
Devin Hayden and Bridget Ellis met online 4 years ago.
And we've been together since.
In a cross-border romance, Hayden lives in Brockville, Ontario. Ellis, about an hour's drive in upper New York State.
Most weekends she comes down after work and we spend a few days together, which is nothing like spending every minute of every day together.
Now, this isn't anything unusual. A lot of us have family across the border or spend extended amount of times in the US as snowbirds. Maybe not as much these days. That might be not as common anymore. But the thing is, before January 20th, 2025, it was completely normal for Canadians to head south to visit their spouse, partner, or family. And the same goes the other way around. But with these recent changes, these kind of cross-border relationships are going to feel the pressure. And with that pressure comes the extra questions from CBP asking how long you're staying. Let's not forget, Canadians now have to fill out this ridiculous form if they plan to stay more than 30 days.
The couple planned to marry on June 14th.
Just a small little thing in Canton, New York.
At a park with a bridge and everything.
But just days before the wedding, crossing into the U.S., things unraveled.
Once I saw them all kind of group up and stuff, I'm like, all right, something's about to happen.
Hayden says American border agents flagged him for spending too much time in the U.S., which is typically a maximum of 180 days per year.
It was only the 156th day of the year, so. But once they stood me up and fingerprints and stuff, I was like, okay, this is a little worse than I thought it would be.
156 out of 180 days. This Canadian is still well under the number of days he's allowed to stay in the US, and yet he was denied entry. From what I can see, he didn't break any rules when it comes to the length of stay. So that raises a big question for me. Where's the written reason? There's got to be something official, right?
And I had to exit the country immediately.
But no reason was given on Hayden's official denial form.
I had to come into Canada, drop him off, and then come back.
Well, there you have it. A completely blank section. Right where the reason is supposed to be written. What's the point of these forms if CBP isn't going to fill them out properly? No explanation, no accountability, nothing. At this point, it feels like you're at the mercy of whichever CBP officer you get, and whether they're having a good day or a bad one, or whether they feel like profiling someone or not.
There's nothing about this fact set that is surprising to me.
U.S. immigration lawyers say when crossing the border, intent plays a major role in an agent's choice to grant entry.
And the scale is tipping a little bit more heavily towards really strong U.S. ties. That's going to raise a red flag.
Like a marriage spanning two countries.
I want to be over here, but he wants to be over there.
That's kind of the axe in the chopping block. Once you've been denied entry to the United States, you have to do the heavy lifting and reestablish really strong ties back to your home country.
Hayden's new plan.
Once the passport arrives, it's maybe be allowed back in.
For now, Ellis comes here to Canada. Their love knows no boundaries or borders.
We're working well through it, considering the circumstances. It hasn't torn us apart.
Love you.
Love you too.
I really do feel for this couple, but it shows how strict things have become on the 49th parallel. When a relationship goes sour and CBP has been given the green light to judge, profile, or act however they want at that given moment, you're really rolling the dice when you cross that border. Yes, thousands are still crossing every day. But like I said in previous videos, I don't want to be that 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20 that gets stopped for absolutely no reason. And that's the reason why I choose to stay anonymous. I have family and friends in the US, and God forbid if I ever have to go down for an emergency, whether I'm crossing at land or going through a pre-clearance at the airport, I'd need to be face-to-face with a CBP officer. And the last thing I want is to be pulled aside and asked, so, you run a YouTube channel called Guard the Leaf, and you think my president is an idiot, a moron, a douchebag, a narcissist, and you call him the orange guy with the shitty ass spray tan. Yeah, that won't go well for me. So my identity will remain anonymous for my own safety. And I hope this clarifies the comments asking why I haven't given my name or why I haven't shown my face on camera. And if you think I'm overreacting, look up what happened to Alistair Kitchen, an Australian citizen who was detained and deported by the US because of the things he's publicly said online. There's zero trust now, and any leeway we used to count on both sides of the border, forget it. Yesterday's video covered a man from Quebec who was stopped by the US Coast Guard while boating along the border. My best advice? Just avoid going to the US altogether, or stay away from the actual border on the water. I really do hope the couple finds a way to get married. Maybe they move the wedding to Canada and avoid the stress entirely. If you found this video helpful, hit the like and subscribe button so the message can reach more Canadians. Share it with your friends and make sure you tap the bell so you're notified when the next video drops. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, and hopefully I'm not as sick as I am now.